I'm back again with another video. I said I'm back again with another video, and we're back again with another video. So in this video, as you can see, I'm sitting in my car for this video, and this video is going to be about 10 things that you should know before going and purchasing a car. I just recently purchased a car about maybe 3-4 weeks ago, actually probably 3 weeks to a month ago. And you know what I'm saying, as I did, I actually, what you should never do is, I did my research afterwards. I did my research after kind of purchasing the car. I mean, I researched you know what I'm saying, cars, monthly payments, all of that. But as far as the contract, I kind of read the contract after, you know what I'm saying, and I felt a lot of things that made me feel unsettled. But I worked it out, granted, you know what I'm saying. For a minute I was, you know what I'm saying, crying. I thought that I had got a bad deal, you know what I'm saying. But which I kind of did on APR, but I made a list. I have my 10 things written down actually, and we're gonna get into it. So, number 1, read everything. When I say, and I mean read everything before you sign. Read everything. If you need to come back the next day, if you need to get a print of the contract and read that whole, tell them you gonna read that whole, and then you gonna come back the next day, and then you'll consider purchasing a car. Do that. Read everything before you sign the contract, because it's very unlikely that you can go back on that contract once you signed it. You can go back on that contract anytime before you sign it. You can negotiate on that contract anytime before you sign it. But after you sign it, you really don't have any leverage on anything. You know what I'm saying? So read everything. Everything. Every piece. Read every piece of that contract. Every page of that contract. Read that. Read that. Understand. And then here's the key. Read it, but understand it. Read it, but understand it. If you have to Google something, like if you don't know what a balloon payment is, you Google that. Google that and know what that is. If you don't know what sale price altogether is, Google sale price altogether. Understand. Not only read it, but understand it, because I read the contract before I signed it. I read it before I signed. Actually, have my contract with me right here, and I read it. You know what I'm saying? I read the contract. See, don't feel. No. I felt like I understood it. I'm like, this looks like it's good, so I signed. Got home. I was like, let me read this contract. And when I tell you I read it in depth, I thought that I had just signed the worst contract ever. I'm Googling things. I'm Googling what stuff means. And I'm like, oh man, what did I just sign? So read it and understand it. Once I Googled it, I actually called the dealership back, and I'm like, I'm reading this, it's not really making sense. I Googled it, you know what I'm saying, it's not really making sense. And she actually broke it down to me, you know what I'm saying. And also after I talked to her, I went back and Googled it again. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying, I'm cool. But in the beginning, I was like, what is this? I was like, she just done like mess me up. But that's why I say read and understand. Don't feel like you're being a burden to these dealership people. They want your money, and once you sign that contract, they got your money. You know what I'm saying? They are there to make a sale. And so any questions you have about anything with the contract before you sign it, even after you sign it, if you got a question, call them back, because I definitely called them back. You know what I'm saying? So number 1, read everything and understand. Okay, number two is pay attention to your APR. And if you don't know what APR is, it's your annual percentage rate. Pay attention to that because, you know what I'm saying, before I bought my car, I was looking at videos, trying to understand things, you know what I'm saying? And people was just like, pay attention to the APR, pay attention to APR. Don't just pay attention to your monthly payments. Don't just pay attention to it because, of course, they can get your monthly payments as low as you want them hoes to be. But they're going to continue to raise your interest rate. They're going to continue to, matter of fact, let me look at it. They're going to continue to, yeah, they're going to continue to raise your monthly, your APR. Or they might raise how much you pay in interest, which is, you know, APR. And also, they may extend your payment period. Like how many payments you'll have to make. Like it comes in like 12, 24, 36, 72, 84, 65. How many months you want to prolong, or how many months they're going to give you to take out this loan, that in the amount of time you have to pay it back. They'll extend that. You know what I'm saying? So you're thinking like, I'm getting this low monthly payment, but all along they've extended the amount of time on the loan, which means you're paying more interest. So yeah, you're getting, you know what I'm saying, you're getting lower monthly payments, but in the long run you're paying more interest on the car, which means you're paying more for the car than what you expected. So pay attention to the annual percentage rate and make sure they don't swindle you, because you can look at these numbers. When you look at the numbers, do calculations, break that number down, break the finance charge down into months, because before I didn't understand really what APR was. Okay, APR is annual, so it is your yearly percentage rate of how much interest they are charging you. And it may seem like when you looking at this paper, you might be like, shoot, well, it's really kind of maybe not that much. But break down your APR. Break it down into months so you can calculate monthly how much interest you're paying. Because looking at this sheet, you might be like, oh, I'm not paying that much. But when you break that John down monthly, because you're going to be making monthly payments, you might not be, you might be like, oh, no, that's too much. And you can always negotiate. You know what I'm saying? You can always negotiate, and you can always walk away. That is the number right there. Know that you can walk away. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get you attached to the car. You're going to be like, this is a good car. I need it. But you don't need it. You don't need it if you're going to be paying at the wazoo. You don't need it if you're going to be paying high interest rates, high interest every month. And because the higher the interest, the more interest they're taking out, and the less principal payment, principal being the actual amount that you're paying for the car. So please pay attention. That's why you read everything. You read everything and you pay attention and you ask questions. You ask as many questions as you need to ask. Okay, number 3. We're going to get into number 3. Number 3 is try your best not to do dealership financing. Look up credit unions. And I say this because I listen to people. You know what I'm saying? I went on YouTube. I feel like I had did the most research. I am burning up, actually. Okay, hold on, because this... Okay. But look, I had thought that... Hold on. I gotta roll my window down, because I'm gonna suffocate.
These stories about small businesses making a difference. So let's get...
I'm sorry if y'all hear some cars riding by, because I am sitting in my car. But I had to roll my window down, get some air, because it is hot. Okay, so back to, what number was I on? 3. Okay, so we are back later on in the day, because actually it just got like really hot, so had to like stop and retry to do the video later on. So if you hear the cars, still got my window down, so just bear, because we're not on a really busy street, but then again we are. So and I think I left off on number 3, which is try your best not to get dealership financing. I'm actually gonna go to one because mosquitoes, time for mosquitoes. But try your best not to get dealership financing, because they're gonna try to charge you the most that they can get out of you. And also that refers back to the other one, where I said don't just focus on monthly payments, because if you do, then they're just gonna jack up your APR, and you know what I'm saying. Once you start to you pay on it, you're like, dang, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm putting all this money, paying all this money, but the amount of money that I'm supposed to be paying on my car is not going anywhere. And you'll find out that it's because your interest rate is so high that, you know what I'm saying, you're not putting any dents into your car. Like putting any money down into your car is all going to interest at during the month. So, and you could probably, if you go to a credit union, go to your bank, you know what I'm saying, you could possibly get a lower APR than you would at the dealership. So definitely shop around, pay attention. I think that was one thing that I really didn't do. And I mean, that was how I got an APR rate that was so high. And like, you know what I'm saying, looking back on it, I'm just like, should just went to a credit, you know what I'm saying, a credit union. Should have just looked at my bank, you know what I'm saying. Should have just calculated, you know what I'm saying. Like, I didn't take time to calculate my APR, you know what I'm saying, monthly, how much interest was. Because you look at APR and you look at your finance charge and how much you're paying in interest. And this was me. I looked at it and I'm like, maybe that's really not that much. But when you break that John down and you start to like calculate and how much they're taking out of it when you're trying to make your monthly payment, it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? So definitely pay attention to all numbers. Pay attention to that finance charge. Pay attention to how long they're giving you to pay on the loan. Pay attention to the APR. Break the APR down monthly so you can calculate monthly how much you're paying in interest versus how much you're actually paying on the actual car. Just pay attention to everything. You know what I'm saying? Number 4. Do your research and negotiate everything. This ties into what I just said. Negotiate everything. Everything is negotiable. If they really want you to get that, you know what I'm saying? Everything is negotiable. The price of the car is negotiable. Do your research. Know how much value that car has. You know what I'm saying? I think this was another thing. Like, I mean, and granted, I really watch YouTube videos. When you watch these YouTube videos, take these YouTube videos and really apply them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I applied, but I didn't really apply them. You know what I'm saying? Negotiate. When you do your research and you find that the car is probably priced to look like maybe $500 below, negotiate to that $500. You know what I'm saying? APR, when you feel like my credit score is at a point, my credit history is at a point where I should not be having to pay this much in interest, you negotiate that. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason why you don't do dealership financing. Because when you shop around, you can really negotiate. You know what I'm saying? You can negotiate. You know, if that final sale price, when they tally up all fees, all the finance charge, put together, when they put everything together, and you don't agree with that, negotiate. Cause once you sign, it's hard. It's harder to negotiate. It's the power does not lie within you after you know what I'm saying, after you negotiate after you sign that. So negotiate once you do your research, apply your research and negotiate. Number 5 is get someone to inspect your car. I understand you're like, I'm a test drive, but there's a lot of things that you won't initially hear or you won't initially get from just test driving for a little like 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Or a little 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that you won't get, you know what I'm saying? Like when I test drove this car, we immediately noticed that there was something wrong with the brake pads, and you know what I'm saying, we told them like, we're not buying this car unless, you know what I'm saying, you fix these brake pads, because these don't sound right, you know what I'm saying, and they agreed. So it's just like, you may find things, you know what I'm saying, you feel like it's not starting up properly, or you know what I'm saying, like I said, the brake pads or something like that. But as far as anything else, you might not be able to catch that just by starting it up for a couple minutes and driving it down the road, taking a couple turns. You know what I'm saying? So definitely get that car inspected. If they want to make that money, they're going to let you drive that car to get that car inspected. And also, don't go to your own mechanic. Don't let them say, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, take the car to my mechanic down the road and he'll let you know what's wrong with it. Because some of them mechanics work for them. They're not going to tell you all the underlying problems, because that's when, once they tell you all these underlying problems, then you can negotiate and say, you got to fix this before I buy this car. And they're not trying to spend money. They're trying to make money. So go to your mechanic, let them inspect your car, and if everything checks out, if it's something that, say one of your tires is low, if that's something that, you know what I'm saying, is okay with you, purchase the car and change the tire. But then also, you know what I'm saying, negotiate. Tell them they got to change your tire before you buy the car or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it helps in the long run. It helps you not have to fit expenses on the car when you just freshly purchased it. But keep in mind, if you buy a used car, it is a used car, you know, so, but just make sure you get the car inspected. Okay, we're on number 6. Okay, number 6 is, anything you find wrong with the car, agree to get them to fix it. And this ties into the last one. You know, as I was saying, if something's wrong with that tire, and you just don't really want to fit the bill, you tell them before you sign that paper, hey, something's wrong with this tire. I took a test drive, something's wrong with this tire, and I need it replaced. You know what I'm saying? So anything that you find wrong before you sign those papers, even after, if you just signed them papers, something is wrong, you call them and you let them know. You know what I'm saying? So that's number 6. I don't know where my number 7 went. Hold on, you guys. I actually didn't do number. Okay, so I didn't do number 7, but I'm gonna do number 8. Okay, number 8. Stay in your budget in all aspects, from the purchase of the car, sale purchase of a whole car, to the APR, to the finance charge, to everything. Everything. Stay in your budget. One thing about me was that I didn't actually calculate interest into it. I mean, I calculated how much the car was going to cost, and how much and the fees. The license fee. Don't forget about fees. The license fee, documentations fee, different stuff like that. I calculated those fees, but that was one thing I didn't calculate, was interest. But calculate all fees and stay within your budget. If it doesn't fit your budget, walk away, because you will eventually find something that will fit in your budget. If you find a car price and you've negotiated, you've gotten that down to where you want it to be, and then you get to the contract and you're finna sign, and you're like, they've added in the finance charge and everything, and it's not in your budget range, then that's your cue to negotiate. Either negotiate or to walk away. You know what I'm saying? Stay within your budget, because that's what's gonna make or break it. If you can't afford it, then they're gonna come take the car. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that you can afford it. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you can afford it. Okay, number 9. If you do financing with the dealership, look up the financing company. And now this one hit home for me, because you don't really think to look up. I think a lot of people don't think to look up the financing company. You know what I'm saying? If you finance with the dealership, look up the financing company, because I'm telling you, I looked up financing company because, see, they played me. This is what they did. They played me, and I had an APR rate, right? So they called me back and they said, "Oh, well, the bank said that they can't give it to you at this rate, but here's another rate." You know what I'm saying? And they increased my APR rate, and I'm like, "Why are you increasing my APR?" And my APR was actually already higher than, you know what I'm saying, what it should have been. You know what I'm saying? I understand that I'm a person with not that much credit. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have much credit history, but my APR should not be this high. But, you know, I still signed the paper, got home, and I felt like it wasn't a good deal. I felt uneasy about it, and I thought about it, and I Googled you know what I'm saying, the financing company, and they were in settlements for charging people too high of interest rates, knowing that they wouldn't be able to pay on it, and they were in settlements paying millions of dollars to people, paying billions of dollars back to people because they gave them interest rates that they knew they weren't gonna be able to pay, or knew they weren't gonna be able to handle. You know what I'm saying? And after seeing that, my stomach, I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because a lot of people don't think, let me look up the financing company. But just because the dealership is using that financing company does not mean that it's a good financing company. And that turn, I could have walked away. You know what I'm saying? In between the two deals, before signing that second one, I could have walked away. You know what I'm saying? But then that also goes back to your budget. If it is not in your budget range, then find something else. Walk away. Because the financing company is not for you. They are for making their money. Some car dealerships are not for you. They're for making their money. So if you're financing with them, make sure that they're a good financing company. Look them up on a Better Business Bureau and all of that. Make sure. Listen to me. Make sure. You know what I'm saying? Because if I would have done my research before, knowing that they were a bad company, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people wrote bad reviews about them, then maybe that would have altered me signing that thing again. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, know everything. Google the dealership, make sure they're a good dealership. Google the financing company, make sure and not only the financing company financing through the dealership, but also credit unions. Make sure you're doing your thorough research on the credit unions that you're using. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, you know what I'm saying, technically this is number 9, because I actually didn't do a number 7, but we're just gonna keep going with it. Number 10, don't take anybody's word. Check everything. Don't take anybody's word. That goes for the contract. Don't take their word by saying, "Oh, well, this is what the contract says, and this is what it's going to do, and this is how it's going to go, and this is what it means." Don't take anybody's word. Do your research. I don't care if they said the contract said it's blue. You make sure that contract says it's blue. You know what I'm saying? You make sure. I don't care if they say, "Oh, this car is just the best thing ever." Everybody's been coming to see this car. Everybody's been coming to test drive this car and said it's a good car. I can sell this car in like okay, well then why haven't you sold it yet? You know what I'm saying? I don't care if they say, oh, you don't have to test drive. Don't take anybody's word for it. Anything. That goes for if something happens and they take your car and they agree to fix something on your car, and they're like, oh yeah, we did what we're supposed to do. No, you take that car to another mechanic, your trusted mechanic, and get a second opinion. Don't take anybody's word for anything. I don't care if they say, oh well, this is what it is. This is what your credit score. This is what we can get you. This is what this is. Do your research in all to sum up everything. What it means to buy a car, what it means to finance a car. It means to do your research. Stay within your limits. If hold on, y'all. I'll be back. As I was saying, because somebody was walking down the road, got to be more visual. Anyways, but like I was saying, do your research with anything before you sign, before you go looking for a car. Even if you don't know nothing, if you know that car is not within your budget range, then why are you signing? Some of it is common sense, but more of it is research. And the more that you know before you go and get a car, the better deal that you'll get. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to stay within your budget. Because you know what you can afford. You know what I'm saying? Stay within your budget. You may not, and that's what I'm saying. You may not know what APR is. You may not know what interest is. You may not know nothing. You may not know nothing, but you know how much you got for a down payment, and you know how much you're going to want to pay in the end. And if you look at those numbers and that's not what you want to pay, then you know what it is. You know what time it is. You know it's time to walk away. You just gotta know. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta know. You gotta do your research. You gotta know. You know what I'm saying? Because they will swindle you. And if you're not sure, if you feel any ounce of anything to where you feel like, dang, this is not it, this is not what I want, this is too much money, because you know what I'm saying, you will get an intuition telling you, nah, this ain't it, this deal ain't it, you know what I'm saying, these people ain't it, I don't like these people attitude, this ain't it, this ain't the dealership for me, this ain't the car for me. You will know, and you need to follow that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people just be like, oh no, it's okay, I could just make more payments this month, or I could just do this, or I could just get a longer loan term, or I could just do this. You know what I'm saying? No, you know in the beginning if you can do it, or if you can handle it, or if you can't. And to keep yourself from getting in more debt, to keep yourself financially sane, to keep your debt, your credit score, you know what I'm saying, in check. Please just do your research. And I'm going to end it off there. I want to thank you guys for watching this informational video. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you retain some information from this. Hopefully you don't go through anything crazy in your buying experience from watching this video. And I want to thank you for watching. And tune in for another video whenever I post. Thank you. Bye-bye.